Hello, ladies and Germans. How you all doing? Let me turn off the fog of war here. This is Con Ulrich, and I'm coming to you with some more Company of Heroes 2 1v1 action. You can see up here in the north, this is at, what's it called, Market Sector, I think is the name of the map. I could be wrong. This is one you don't see very often, which is definitely why I picked this to cast. And frankly, because of the players involved in it as well. Up here in the north, already putting down this infantry company, we have the forces of PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. And of course, already he's picking up Assault Support Doctrine, so kind of uncommon. We don't tend to see this a whole lot. The supply trucks can be rather good if utilized properly, but it's a question of really getting those to be utilized properly now, isn't it? His opponent spawning down here in the south is a Soviet industry forces underneath that of Fortune. So he is a soldier of Fortune. He's finding his own way. He's starting up with a very standard 2 conscript opening. Panzer Grenadier going for a couple of grenadiers like his namesake would suggest. And it's nice to see that we have very uncommon commander choices. You don't often see Fortune in a one-on-one game, but the late game KV-8 and the KV-2 can be amazing forces to bring onto the field. And for Panzer Grenadiers side of things, like I said already, the cargo truck, the Opel Blitz, can give that greater return. The Junker is not too bad. The fragmentation's decent if you can get it on point, but it's very expensive. And of course, the Tiga tank, which is the mainstay of any late-game call-in. Both players just going for a lot of Tier 1 infantry, and it looks like Panzer Grenadier just wants to kind of tee off Fortune by taking this strap point right here and just throwing down a couple of bits of cover just in case. And while we have a very quick 1-to-1 cap, this map in and of itself is thinner. It's not quite as wide as you might expect, but it's tons of shot blockers, which is why it's a really kind of interesting one. I think it might even have been a community map created. Like I said, though, unfortunately, I haven't played on this one that too often, so I might be a little bit out of date with some of the information on it. Nevertheless, first couple of meeting engagements do occur. And these Grenadiers do a couple of really mortal wounds to these poor combat engineers, and these guys are thrown back in disarray. Now, to the eastern side of things, we are going to see the Soviets will be securing a munitions point, and they have their fuel, and they've had it for quite a bit of time now. Germans less so. But Fortune seems to be okay with just kind of selling Soviet lives for time. It probably would behoove him to pick up this VP as well. And while he's got a bunch of concepts on the field, it will be a little bit difficult for him to be pushing forward once this MG42 is deployed onto the map. You see it just finishing being built right now. But not everything's coming up for the Germans. You do see one squad is being savaged pretty hardcore, and it's going to happen when you have, what, 2-to-1 in terms of just raw rifle power. While the conscripts are not the most accurate thing on 2 legs, you fire enough bullets and you're bound to hit something. Of course, these Germans being in good cover right now means that the advancing Soviets will be taking a little bit of damage. The MG42 is up. It is in here at the same time. And this bad boy right here is going to get suppressed. He actually might be able to get a cap off for the strap point, but I'm not sure he's going to get much more than that. Probably get a quick retreat right after this. Grenadiers from Panzer Grenadier are coming in a big blob here. We're also going to see the fuel is now in supply and a mortar is coming out. So interesting decision. Like I said, though, on this map there's a ton of shot blockers. You do see all these walls, all these trees. Even the center part of the map is this beautiful little garden area, which I guarantee you is going to turn into a mush of dirt and blood and shelling. 494 to 453, though, Fortune has not gone for the Eastern VP, instead deciding he wants to take away the German advantage, capping out his own position over here and throwing down another sandbag wall for defense. One, he's trying to just stay down here very defensive with that, but staying static against the mortar is not going to be a good plan. 2 rounds coming in already, and these conscripts are down to, what, about 45-30% health? And getting worse all the time. They're dropping models like crazy. One more round coming in could really take out that squad. No, they're going to retreat just before that happens. Another Ura kind of comes in, and yikes. Conscripts are not doing too much better against... Grenadiers aren't doing too much better. And between this machine gun, this entire section is locked down pretty hardcore. This Maxim will do some damage. Oh no, but that's exactly what he wanted him to do. Okay, so machine gun suppressed, he's not going to get off the same kind of suppression he needs to get, and you see this position will fold underneath the relentless pressure from Fortune's troops. PanzerGrenadier has gone to Phase 1. His combat engineers are back in base, but not doing a whole lot. And I'm kind of wondering... Okay, no, he's going to throw down, I think. Yep, there it is. There's the Tank Heavy Battalion Command.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
And while, as you just heard, the lines of supply are disrupted for the Germans, it's not a ton of disruption. Indeed, they're getting in and behind these Russian troops like crazy. It is only by the saving grace of this Maxim down here that the Germans weren't able to do devastating losses on that retreating conscript squad. To the east, in the meantime, we are going to see that the Pioneers have dropped down an S minefield, and that's such a cute little sign. Looks like a child has drawn it, but whatever. And when conscripts coming up, I'm wondering if these Pioneers are going to hang out just long enough to make it think that there is a bit of resistance. And maybe kind of try to draw in those conscripts into this minefield. But no, combat engineers do have themselves a hazard removal kit. But unfortunately for Fortune, that's a very awkward sentence. Let me try this again. It's bad luck, though. The Germans do have themselves a trip cap. And with this, again, this mortar MG combo, it can be very difficult for these conscripts to get a lot of work done. I stand corrected. This MG, it just gets URA'd right out of existence. And there is the bunker medical station. A little bit slower, but definitely not the slowest we've seen. As someone pointed out recently, it is definitely true that some players don't even build them. So, let's give PanzerGrenadier credit where credit is due. Now, the Pioneers have gone back to base, and there it is, the Leichte Mechanized Company. Angreifen, by the way. Excuse me, I always say Angreifen. But Angreifen. And the combat engineers come over here to clear out the minefields. That's some munitions down the drain for PanzerGrenadier. But Fortune's not getting a whole lot done either. He's sticking with these kind of beginning infantry squads here. A little confused why these Grenadiers are out on the map. First of all, not even fully healed, but second of all, not with a full squad size either. It is fair to say that these combat engineers will not be able to hold up against a Grenadier mortar combo. You do see it already. Finally, squad members are dropping down. And there's the redeployed Maxim. Okay. Ooh! But that combat engineer makes it out by the skin of his teeth, carrying back this very, very valuable equipment. And that's just plain unlucky. Wow, that mortar was a beautiful shot there. Only take out like 35-40% of the health on that machine gun crew with one lucky round. Shelling up there and somehow lands down there. Wow, that's the windage you just don't want to deal with. But the Maxim's coming forward yet again. So we will see Soviets charging in, trying to take away some of these tickets. And they might be able to decap one of these VPs. And they're going to at least suppress off this, of course, this Grenadier squad as well. My question is, why? Okay, why is the mortar shelling up there? I'd be going after this machine gun all day, every day, until that thing is dead. Or I definitely have troops to kind of combat that. Instead, we will see, again, combat troops like crazy pouring up the center part of the field here. And while these Panzer Grenadiers might be able to deflect them for the time being, with a well-placed bundle grenade even more so, instead we'll just see a relentless march forward from the Soviets. In the west, you see Pioneers getting pushed back, and a T-70 is now on the field, but he's not being too aggressive about that. It's probably a good thing. You see, of course, that our Soviet player has the Allied supply drop, and really could be using that to just start throwing down and getting crazy amounts of fuel. But he's not going for it just yet. Kind of curious why he's not going for that big, massive investment into a... There we go. There we go. There's some supplies coming in. Kind of wonder why he wasn't dropping supplies down on his troops. Yep, there we go. It's a 40 fuel for him. Mortar is pushed back in the meantime by these conscripts, and we're going to see a Pak-40 coming out for the Germans. Apparently he knows somehow that T-70 is out there. That's a sign of a great play. Well, at least a good player. He knows the timings for his opponent's troops. Panzerfaust comes out in the meantime, going to come out, damage the engine on that T-70. It's going to slow it down, but almost as immediately the T-70 pops the crew repair, which does mean he's not going to get off the DPS he's hoping for, but he's going to get out of there before that pack gets up there. That pack's making its way slowly forward to the front. Not too quickly, though. But the first Grenadiers are going to find themselves getting shelled by this T-70. And I'm wondering if Fortune doesn't know that there's an anti-tank gun out, or he just doesn't care. Wow, that Grenadier squad. 3 different shots. It was 1, there goes down to 3. 2, it goes down to 2 models, and finally the 3rd shot takes them down to 1 model. It's pretty brutal. And I don't know how this happened, but this poor Plaza gets pushed back quite a bit. AT gun in the meantime throws off a round, doesn't quite hit, and we're also going to see the combat engineers have successfully pushed and taken the German munitions point. Germans, for their own point, are trying to push down here with their own well, not so much non-combatants, but fairly non-combatants. Very strange position for a bunker when you can kind of see through here. But what have you. And in the meantime, 494 to 301, 11:15 into this game. Dear God. A mine went down and the T-70 ran right over it. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I'm wondering, will we in fact see a cargo truck and the thrown down on top of this fuel point? He has the manpower to spare. The question really is whether or not he wants to tech up or not. Ziskin comes out for the Soviets in the meantime. Oh, jeez. Once again, Urain conscripts coming in. And these frontal assaults are really playing to the Soviet strength. And once you don't care about, human life, then that's kind of how it works, I suppose. But they're going to get suppressed. No, they're going to... Oh, no, they almost make it out just barely, but then they fail at the absolute last second. And this is close quarters action right here, folks. We're going to see that this Maxim will suppress and pin those poor P-Gruns. One more mortar round coming in could take out that machine gun. No, drops short, but he backs away with just 1/3 of the models initially. Oy vey. And every single time you think that the Soviets are going to break the German position, just dive nice and deep, they get pushed back just barely. Just before they get in. Worth noting in the meantime as well, a PM-41 mortar squad is out. You're going to see a lot of indirect fire, I imagine, on the center part of the map. And I'm hoping we're not going to get bogged down with that. A second T-70 is going to be coming out, though, in the meantime. And there's the first rounds coming in, trying to find that pushing Grenadier squad. There's the Opel Blitz truck. Look to see that put over on top of that fuel point. Any kind of counter battery going on here? No, not quite yet. He does have the counter barrage opportunity. So I'm kind of wondering why he's not doing it necessarily. Maybe he's a little bit out of range just yet. Now, where is the Opel Blitz? Okay, he's not set up just yet. But, of course, I really want to see that Opel Blitz put in the back. I think right now Panzer Grenadier is a little focused on making sure he doesn't lose any troops unnecessarily. We see kind of a 50-50 split going on right now with the map. I'm going to modify this a little bit more to get a better picture on this one. MG-42 to the west will push back these not-so-innocent conscripts. And indeed, it seems almost a... strange. Okay, interesting. Opel puts deploys right here. So I'm trying to make sure that that fuel point doesn't ever fall out of supply. And, oi, wow. Maxim is tearing into this MG-42, throwing it back kind of in a big bloody mess. Pack 40 is trooping on forwards, and these P-Grens now have their double Shreks. So you gotta get up and get one volley of Shreks in, and that could be... Oh, it doesn't get the Shrek off. And the Pack 40 misses just barely. And T-70 limps back to home base. Okay, I get the whole idea that putting the Opel Blitz where he is would get more supply. It's such a weird decision. I think I really would have gone for the fuel point, but okay. In the meantime, P-Grens, their dirty mission done, are thrown back by conscripts and Maxims yet again. And taking a quick look at veterancy, Fortune's doing pretty well. Actually, both players are doing pretty well. There's been not a whole lot of drop material on the map, other than to say, of course, that T-70. Okay, the question is, can these guys get set up and get some firepower on this Maxim before... Okay, rifle grenade, that's a good point, a good way to start right there. And no, they're not going to get that rifle grenade off. That's very, very lucky for the Soviets. In the north, in the meantime, conscripts and grenadiers facing off, but in close range, I'm still going to give the edge over here to grenadiers. The conscripts have the numbers, but the grenadiers have the fighting power. But for the first time in a long time, the Germans are losing tickets, 490 to 269. Still up an absolute ridiculous amount, though. And forgive me, I missed Panzer Grenadier going up to Battle Phase 2. Support Armor Corps is down. You can see a P-Force coming out as we speak. Another 15, 20, 30 seconds, maybe at the absolute most for it. And the Soviet position down here doesn't seem terribly strong. He has no anti-tank grenade provisions put out. He is dropping more fuel, so he's looking, I think, maybe to pick up a KV-8. Oh no, he doesn't have to do that. Doesn't have to do that. Why is he dropping the fuel right now? Maybe if he has the munitions, he might as well just get to pick up the fuel. Interesting decision, nevertheless. Now, I'm really hoping we don't get bogged down in just a mortar fight, but we are going to see 1 PM 41 mortar setting a position here. The other one looking to find that mortar squad, and they're doing so. They're actually doing a big mess onto that pack. Yikes. Yeah, I don't want to be a German troop right now, German soldier. The P4 is coming forward. He doesn't know about that Zis gun. So the Zis gun's going to be quite a rude surprise for him.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
But he's got to set up first. He's in position, and there goes all the shot blockers that could have kept him safe, could have kept him sacred. Instead, he's forced to back away in a kind of ignoble retreat. He has managed to stun the Russian position on that side, though. How many kills does that guy have? He's got 4 kills already, so a couple of those are on the mortar team. That's actually probably pretty good. Perspective rifle grenade goes out on the second mortar team, misses completely. And a very plucky T-70 starts to come forwards. And now that we have seen the P4, Soviet troops are now armed with those AT grenades. Very, very lucky of them. T-70 continued to do its bloody business. And Pack 40, is that still over here in the area? No, it's coming up right now. But I wonder if that T-70 is going to stay there for too much longer. My guess would be no. Because he's terribly exposed there. So if you're getting 1 or 2 shots off, very lucky that there's a miss. Pack 40, in the meantime, not able to connect on that long-range shot. And that beautiful map, which was just so gorgeous in the beginning, is already starting to look a little bit broken down. You do see, like I said, the shot blockers taken out here. A lot of rubble being shifted around. It's really only this east side that continues to be kind of virgin. And where's that TM-35 mine just gone down? Okay, well, there's one going down over here.
Supply sector under attack.
Okay, so it's a minefield, an impromptu minefield coming down on the western approaches. Is this an attack ground? Yes, it is. For some reason, the Soviets don't like this statue, which is kind of a shame. It looks very, very noble. Wow, you guys are barbarians for sure. Maxim pushing forward in the meantime. You're going to see a quick rifle grenade coming up before they can get hit by that first barrage. And does a good amount of damage. Doesn't do enough to get rid of them, unfortunately, for the Germans. And this mortar's a little bit out of position. He can't quite hit him, I don't think. He's pushing forward to kind of put a little bit more pressure on them. But he still doesn't have quite the range. The barrage is coming in as we speak, though. But of course, now that we know the mortar is there, the question is, oof, never mind, he's going for the mortar team in the back. This could be a very, very telling engagement if a couple more mortar rounds can connect. That's one right there. And the Germans have come across that first barbed wire line. The question is, will the P4 continue to charge forwards and get hit by those mines? Well, he hit one apparently already and has not been too affected. Oh, there's trip mines over there. I thought it was legitimate mines, not the little pansy ones. Alrighty. Soviets just continued to throw lives forwards in a very tactless gesture, but nevertheless effective one. That fully vetted up mortar has to pull back or risk getting savaged by the vile hordes of communist attackers. The P4 is only finally putting its machine gun upgraded. I do know that there's been a fair bit of munitions coming in for Panzer Grenadier. But you do see he has all of his infantry squads upgraded with something, whether it's a flamethrower in the case of one Pyro squad, or just ridiculous amounts. Okay, here comes another. Oh, trip mine? Ah, trip mine. Or it's the hazard removal kits, or just all the LMGs everywhere. Yikes. Both tanks forced to back away, getting a lot of unfortunate attention from the opposite numbers anti-tank guns.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Now, thinking about who has an excellent position right now, looking outside of just the raw score, I have to give it to PanzerGrenadier. Though Fortune's troops are very well disposed to taking on PanzerGrenadier's current army, Fortune's got to wait a little bit longer to bring his ultimate weapon in. PanzerGrenadier has the advantage already of commander points as well as all the resources necessary. Wondering if Fortune's just going to skip the KV-8 and just hold out, hopefully trying to get that KV-2. In the meantime, P4 does manage to go across the anti-personnel mine, keeping it safe for his own troops. There's a lot of heavy equipment coming out for the Soviets. A second Zis gun, and those mortars just continue to loft rounds, hoping somehow to hit something. Not doing a whole lot at the moment, though. And we're falling into a little bit of static play over here on the western side. The Soviets forced back almost into their home sector, as they don't quite have the firepower necessary to definitively push back the Germans. Machine gun over here to the west, coming under firepower, but maybe it will... Yep, there's a suppression. The mortar teams in the meantime as well, dropping rounds indiscriminately down on top of the T-70 and the conscript squad. P4 needs a little bit of a paint job, a little bit of a tune-up, but all things considered, this continues to be firmly in PanzerGrenadier's grasp. I say that, of course, if the Soviets decap and try to recap the center VP positions. Zis guns, in the meantime, are going to fire on the P4, and going to be forced back is that P4, dropping down to below half health. Yikes, are we going to see a dead... Yep, never mind, there's a squad drop, finally. We're going to see PanzerGrenadier losing his flamethrower-equipped Pioneers. And now, while that's not a huge loss necessarily, it's not a good one to be suffering at this time. The 22-33 in, 445 to 233. We have not so much a geometric score, but a fun one to say nevertheless. Mortar teams continue to kind of hunker down the back, and I'm expecting to see that Tiga, the second, that can be called in. I continue to be surprised by the limit of local anti-territory, I'm not sure how to call it, but the lack of pushes over here on the eastern side. First of all, this Grenadier squad should be capping this all day. But I guess right at the moment, PanzerGrenadier is a little bit distracted. I would also, if I were PanzerGrenadier, be teching up that Battle Phase 3, if for absolutely no other reason than to have... Ooh, actually, you know what? Instead, building himself a second P4, he should be able to get enough fuel back in time. Be another 4 minutes or so. It's going to be a slight delay. I would think having a second P4 would be very, very good for his war effort. But he's playing, I'm not, and the German position, which had looked so indisputably strong, is looking far less so, as the Soviets are knifing back into almost the German side on the home sector. But the luckiest thing for the Germans is that it's not a combat engineer coming up here and throwing down mines all over the place. Not that Fortune's been flush with munitions necessarily, but it'd still probably be a good idea. 2-0 capped at 424 to 233. Germans will be losing a little bit of overall supply, but it shouldn't be too much of a concern. Now the T-70 in the meantime, shelling one of these more vetted up squads of Grenadiers. That is a concern, because those rounds coming in will be quite devastating. But PanzerGrenadier almost has his Tiga. Any second now, he's going to have that pop off another round or two. There we go. So the Tiga is able to come in. Question is he going to call in right now? He's going to focus on the immediate fight. This gun's going to try to put rounds in. Nope, never mind. It's not going to go after that P4 right there. And this Tiga should be called in immediately, if not a second before. A truly, truly fearsome set of combatants back and forth. Grenadiers facing off in these kind of minimalist actions against conscripts, but out in the open, despite the fact the Germans are better in close range firepower than conscripts, well, at least in this particular matchup, when you're not in cover and your opponent is, that's not a great place for you to be. And PanzerGrenadier, dude, boo-boo, you know that you can call your Tiga in right now. You should be doing it a long time ago. But he's not going to. Instead, he continues to lose tickets, I think, while he's trying to micro his troops back up to the front.
The sector has been cut off.
Wow, and unfortunately this squad right here didn't know they were not in cover, taking losses quite devastatingly. And yet, PanzerGrenadier could have almost called in a second P4 and thrown both of them in a wild charge if he wanted to. But no, the Tiga is on the field, and of course, once the Tiga is out to play, all the mice need to run away. I don't know if that's a phrase or not, but I'm thinking that it is for the moment. Pioneer Squad continues to be rather fearless, charging forward, trying to push back the Soviets by itself. Not going to be a great option. Trying to figure out what the German positions are at the moment, and the Soviets just continue to blunder into this gun position, backed up by these mortar. And the mortar has 3 stars of veterancy, 20 kills on it already, so an entire, not a platoon, but at least half a platoon right there. Now the Tiga on the field, it's like Ride of the Valkyries should be playing here. Of course, the first round curse, though, he comes out and doesn't hit anything really massively important. T-70 gets a couple of rounds, gets shot by a couple of Shreks, but not too much to be too concerned about. Now, there's this gun, they have to be very concerned. You do see a couple of rounds come out from the Shreks, but of course, firing at a man's a little bit different than firing at a multi-ton vehicle. Now, also worth being concerned that over here in the west, if this Tiga is not careful, we will see it fly over the top of that demo charge, and while it may not be able to take it out in one shot, one explosion, it could do some really significant damage. Now, hopefully I just want to make sure if I look over that direction, I see a German troop moving over there, we won't miss the grand explosion. Ah, no, here come the Pioneers. So they see it, they're going to come up and defuse it, and there goes the Soviet trap.
The sector is at risk.
Not going to defuse it? Interesting. Ah, maybe what to do instead. Okay, nope, just a explosion comes off. The Soviets realize it's not going to get a whole lot of utility out of it. Might as well destroy it now. Okay, and Fortune has held on long enough to bring in that KV-2. And this guy's is, in my mind, a rather hideous tank. It feels almost more like a battleship and a tank had a baby. But hey, you know, if it works for them, it works for them. Resist guns do bring that Tiger tank under fire, but just kind of merely scratches the paint. Not getting the damage he might have been hoping for. KV-2, on the other hand, first of all, he puts down Become Mobile as opposed to, oh my gosh, not Become Mobile. Can't think what the other version of this is. They fire faster now with this, so now it's really just a massive gun replacement. Which is an incredible, incredible amount of damage. And there it is already. Damage engine coming out for that poor P4. And jeez, that assault gun has just such a crazy amount of range. Yeah, you can hit out to here. That's a crazy amount of range. Now, he is going to try to pick up and pick on his Grenadiers. Not going to be the best option for him. But I suppose if you give a rabbit to be shot at, then it'll be easier for your own tank to get in and behind. Only thing he doesn't know, that is PanzerGrenadier in this case, is that this area right here has absolutely no... what's the term I'm looking for here? No... ah, shoot, I can't think of it. Well, instead we're going to see Fragmentation Bomb coming in. Mortar team going to get out alive, I think, just barely. Yep. Unlucky right there, not able to pick on the KV-2. Wondering if putting... oh no, it's just targeting infantry. That was the 30mm cannons, but I admit I don't often use artillery, assault support. Now, in the meantime, there is basically maxed out armies on both sides here. Up in the north, we'll see again that Grenadiers, ooh, no, that empty bunker is going to come up against a combat engineer, so that's going to be the wet noodle contest of the century. This machine gun, in the meantime, is going to bring these Grenadiers under fire, force them into a retreat. Kind of unfortunately, didn't just try to get in around and just put a little bit of pressure on these guys. but that's the way the cookie crumbles. KV-2 in the meantime continues to throw down long-range interdicting fire, let's
The
call it.
enemy has taken our supply sector.
And gravity is shifting over here. The explosion is just so devastating that the world just winces in sympathy. Combat engineers to the north, though, are trying to get away from a lot of German detention. And while he manages to do so, this will leave the Germans in control loosely of the field. Oh, wow, he didn't decap that? That is a messed up and a half. But okay, 30-30 in, and what do we got? 362 to 175. Germans are going to lose some tickets here and there. Maxim going to go down? Would be about time. There we go. Finally, Maxim goes down.
Machine gun crew.
Even while a conscript squad charges in, but the P4 is there to run a little bit of interference. The pack crew might get decrewed, and there goes a star of veterancy. But, yeah, oops indeed.
The enemy has silenced one of our anti-tank guns.
Oops indeed. He's just going to try to put fire onto the Stiga tank, and again we see a very, very brave and yet doomed charge coming out from the Germans, from the Soviets rather. Junger comes in to suppress the infantry before they can effectively get, a AT grenade on top of that Tiga tank. And the KV-2 and the two Zis guns, both firing at this Tiga tank. The Tiga just laughing off the rounds. Yeah, he's taking damage, but that's not an incredible amount.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Very, very lucky, first of all, this P4 and the Tiger are not working together, because you would think that these guys should be dead a long time before playing flank charge from one way or the other. KV-2 in the meantime, he's not mobile anymore. He's got that whole kind of hunker down thing yet again. Can't think of what that's called. Please, anybody out there, if I don't catch it in this game, feel free to let me know. And for some reason, we're going to see is going to be a clown car coming up for Fortune. Maybe so we can reinforce in the field. I don't know if that's really what he wants to be doing, but he's going to do it. KV-2, how many kills does that thing have now? 6 kills just by firing just kind of long range, just random shots. P4 in the meantime going to slide up, going to find out these conscripts. I don't think these guys want to hang around. Might be able to charge forwards and get off an AT grenade, but nope, they decide discretion is the better part of valor, and they bolt. And again, on the western side, first of all, there's a Maxim that's still up for grabs. Don't know if the Germans really want to pick it up, but it might not be a bad idea to at least destroy it so the Soviets can't get back to it. And both guys are biding their time for the moment. The Soviets needs to pick it up a little bit more. 328 to 163. Another setup by this mortar team. He's a little bit too far forwards, and he's in negative cover too, so if these conscripts get any kind of fire on them, this mortar team is going to get cut to shreds. Instead, we will see conscripts coming forward, and both these guys are in decent cover. One getting suppressed almost immediately. Anti-air package. Ah, that's why he's got that. ZSU. I was wondering why he's bringing a clown car in. But now any gun run or fragmentation barrage, assuming bombing run, could be a very rude awakening for the German investment. This gun, in the meantime, is going to throw rounds again impotently
Supply sector under
at
attack.
that Maxim. And again, these statues, I don't know why guys get rid of these statues. They're just so gorgeous now they're gone. The Germans have a little bit left respect for it. Combat engineers over here in the meantime probably going to go down. They're not going to get out of here. There's no retreat. And, yep, no retreat. They go down. Another squad gets called in almost immediately. The Germans want to pick up. Nope, I thought they were going to decrew it, but nope, they're not doing it at all. Instead, they're going to bolt away from the KV-2. I completely understand it. Now, the Tiga is going to start throwing rounds into the KV-2. I don't think this thing is against all targets and heavily armored. Yeah, that could be pretty easily.
Engineers ready for assignment.
Firing positions, that's what it's called. So right now, he is getting still that range boost,
Capturing supply sector.
but he's not getting the shots on target that he needs to get. He's doing a lot of HP damage here and there, but no kills necessarily. I say that, he almost takes out the pack.
Yes, comrade.
Wondering why the P4 is not doing a little bit of a local counterattack. He knows where the anti-tank guns are. He knows his opponent can't have much there. Failing to push forward with the P4, I think, is a little bit nervous. While I understand the reason behind the nervousness, I don't agree with the decision to be quite that nervous. Pack puts a round in on top of that KV-2. And again, just a couple of just long-range, very, very prospective rounds. Dunkers coming in. And that ZSU could take him out. Here comes the firepower yet again. I almost want to see it get shot down because I'm at a perfect angle right now for it. Nope, still survives. Okay. As this gun moves on up, I don't think it's a great idea. You get picked off pretty quickly here. Oh my gosh, T-70 coming up as well. Is that just there to be a target? That'd be really silly, wouldn't it? But it's entirely possible, I'm sure. I'm really surprised the thing's not been brought down here. Now, if memory serves, it's like a 1 in 3 chance of anti-aircraft fire bringing down any given airplane on any given Sunday. Couldn't resist. It kind of made itself right there. Nope, still going. All right. Maxim has been recrewed over here on the western side, getting pulled back to base as we speak. No, he's resetting himself. Bad idea. That thing could get taken out super, super easily. And yet, neither player seems overly concerned. Strange. Finally the Germans are taking advantage of the lack of real action over here, pushing forward. Grenadier squad pick up the munitions. And not that it's going to do a whole lot, but the fuel could get picked off from Fortune's coffers, let's call it. Machine gun, in the meantime, going to get line of sight because of that P4 that charges forwards. Tiger coming in as well. Not doing anything except taking damage. Poor Tiger. We're getting a little bit of static play out of these guys. I'm not a big fan of this one at the moment. But I do hopefully believe there's a slam-pack finish coming out of this. And I kind of wanted to show off the KV-2 in the first place. Mostly because you don't see that thing nearly at all. Concept being pushed back with 303 to 108 is now 3 times. Oof. And it seems that the AT gun has been decrewed, and I wonder if this Tiger's going to go down as well. He's just throwing him forward almost unilaterally. Another Tiger could come in immediately, though, and should any second. No, he's going to call in a Stukas. Really? Or PanzerGrenadierAngreifen? Weird decision. He knows there's a KV-2. What is the reasoning behind this one? Unless he loses more infantry, and that's the goal somehow? He loses some infantry here and there. Faust comes off. Another Faust is going to come off. T-70 is going to charge in. But this half-track is almost dead for sure. Of course, I say that, and 2 squads of Grenadiers might go down. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. And now we can call in the Tiger for free, so call the Tiger. And P4 comes in and takes a round at the T-70. Going to do some fair amount of damage, but not going to be enough to compel it back to base. And where's the repair station now? I just saw it go down. There we go. So the repair station is down. And this will allow this KV-2 just to shrug off any damage that comes at it. But I think it's time to call in a second Tiger. But no, we have a very, very deep dive coming out from these conscripts. So it's a strange, strange day when this is going on. Oh, he's just looking to pick off this mortar team. If he drops off that model, that could be a big win, and he does. There goes 3 stars of veterancy right there. Rounds coming in right here. No, it's taking him down to the south. Looking and failing to hit anything really of importance. Yikes. And the PanzerGrenadier takes a hefty, hefty hit from that anti-tank grenade. Be very, very lucky if PanzerGrenadier at least evens the score a tiny bit by taking out this infantry squad, but no, he doesn't, and indeed, the Soviets now take a marked advantage in infantry for the first time in a long time in this game. KV-2 continues to troop on forwards. Firing positions have been assumed yet again. I don't like how this is slowly but just been creeping forward the entire time. Again, this screams Tiga tank. Charge on forwards. Yes, there are Zis guns down here somewhere. Oh wait, no they're not. The Zis guns are back in base. And there goes the mortar team. That's a very, very violent and kind of psychopathic way to talk about that. Ah, they're in pieces. Wow, that's kind of dark. Not quite, don't be such pussies, hold the line, but, you know, whatever. Maybe have a quick sip of something right there. We're talking almost straight for 40 minutes here. Maxim goes down yet again. One of these Grenadiers are going to get close enough. Panzerfaust comes out. Not going to do diddly squat, though. Those things are extremely high armor, and look at that. One round comes in, and his kills jump. Not quite exponentially, and for some reason, PanzerGrenadier just sacrificed a squad of Grenadiers to pick up this Maxim, which he now loses. PanzerGrenadier starting to fold like a cheap card table. Not sure what's going on here. He does a very, very big ticket lead. But he's not doing anything with his troops at the moment. Again, you have an opportunity at a second Tiga. Use the Tiga, Luke. Use the Tiger. But no, it's not happening. Instead, Fortune just slowly going to start to kind of eke his way back into this one. I'm wondering why I'm getting such passive play out of PanzerGrenadier. There's the second Tiga, about 10 minutes too late in my mind. Panzerpfeffer has not done a whole lot. Indeed, he's fired one time and has been backed away. Now, if you could at least hit this thing, take that out, it might be worthwhile. But he's not being aggressive with it, which is kind of bothering me a little bit. Once again. Yep, there we go. I don't know that you're trying to take out that mortar or what the deal is, but Tiga 10 comes forward, and P4 should be charging as well, and Panzerpfeffer should also be firing. All these things should be happening together. This is a true opportunity for combined arms tactics, but no, we're not going to see any kind of cooperation between the German armed forces. Tiga takes a perspective shot, doesn't do a whole lot with it, and this Zis gun's going to get forced back just minorly, but this T-70 is just right there to back up and back away. Charging Grenadiers, a couple of shots come in and just put that thing down almost to like no health. And just it kind of breaks my heart to see a Tiga get blown apart this way. Oh my gosh. An anti-tank grenade could come in and really screw up the day. Oh, this Panzerpfeffer. Damaged engine, and taking shots at it's going to do a pretty good amount of damage as well. KV-2, though, was putting rounds into the back of the P4, which drops him down a fair bit of health. P-guns come in, take opportunistic rounds, and then back away quickly, because if they back away slowly, they're not going to make it out alive. And 42-40 in. Soviets are again taking away tickets from the Germans. And taking away models pretty much at will. Not that I think this gun run's going to do anything, but it might be a good idea to maybe drop the fragmentation bombs somewhere back here. Maybe take up one of these squads. Instead, we're going to see conscripts charging on forwards, and this guy continues to be... Really? The rockets didn't do a whole lot, apparently. What, 2 kills? Didn't even see where that went. I'm sorry, guys, I missed where that barrage went. But the fact that I'm not, like, jumping for joy by the sheer... I don't know how to put it. The sheer amount of destruction considered makes me kind of no, there's not a whole lot going on at the moment, unfortunately. P4 comes over here to the eastern side, and we're going to see conscripts throwing down a quick defensive breastwork. But it's a trip cap for the Soviets, and I can't for the life of me think about where PanzerGrenadier went so wrong with this one. Thinking that he played a little bit static as time went on, and indeed pushing to take out these 4 things right here really could have been a way for him to destroy the Soviets, no questions asked. KV-2 continues to kind of put rounds just very haphazardly over to the west. PanzerGrenadiers luckily get inside that incoming shell. The 2 rounds come off, ping on the armor fort, but not going to do a lot of damage, and instead it's going to get forced back again after one single salvo. Germans are now underneath 200 tickets, and we're going to also see a Katyusha coming in. With the Katyusha coming in... See, look at that. Jeez. With the Katyusha coming in, the German infantry is pretty much dead. There's been no repair whatsoever. No reinforcement, really. No considerable one, anyway. And the Germans are finally going to take away this Eastern VP, but they're still down at 2-to-1 cap. Panzergrenadierangreifen barrage. Congratulations, you've come in and killed 3 guys with it. Way to go. And it's still not even stopping the cab. Jeez. He's looking to take out the Panzergrenadierangreifen. And one unlucky rocket could do that. Just barely missing, just barely missing. One more round. Oh my gosh, he's almost dead. Not quite, though. Super, super lucky Panzergrenadierangreifen. Tico tank in the meantime. Did he run over a mine? I don't think so. Maybe he's got hit by... Nope, I think it was a anti-tank grenade. Nevertheless, Germans are in disarray, not pushing forward effectively at all. The infantry's going to get cut to pieces no matter where they are. 2 squads of P-Grens with Shreks, and one of them surprised he hasn't gone down already. And every single time the KV-2 fires, it's like every single time a bell rings and Angel gets its wings. When that tank shells, another German goes to hells. That's how it kind of feels like here. P4 just not doing anything. They're just trying to desperately get prepared. I'm wondering if these guys are going to kill themselves getting out that AT grenade. Yep, there goes the Panzergrenadierangreifen. And that's a good investment for Fortune. Even if he loses the P-Gren squad, he's going to LMG on that one as well. I even noticed that getting picked up. I'm not going to suggest that this is 100% a Soviet game. But it's kind of hard to say that it's not a Soviet game either. Speeding up just a little bit in the meantime. Like I said, static play, not really my bailiwick. Tiger comes forward yet again. There's got to be a more significant push out of this. He comes up, he takes 2 rounds, fires like a salvo, and then he gets backed away. TM-35 mine out here. In the meantime, another mine impact going to happen super soon. And he is completely out of position here. Finally puts a round into the side of the Metal Beast. Between the Ziscon and the KV-2, I don't want to be that Tiger. Oh, but here come the Shreks. This could be shockingly good. 4 Shreks come in. There goes the main gun. That's completely gone. Never mind, folks. This could be the death of the KV-2. The main gun is destroyed. But the second that he goes down, another one could be called in. How is he not going down, deflecting rounds like crazy? There goes the KV-2. The Tiger is in brutal shape as well. The bomb run comes in. T-70 goes down. Another KV-2's been called in, and just in time, there goes one of these Zis guns. Conscripts now do have themselves a Shrek, so that Panzer IV has to watch out. Especially if there's an AT grenade being thrown here at the same time too. No, there's not. Indeed, we're just going to see the Shrek being passed from guy to guy. As wow, that passage of play was a little bit more intense than I figured. Another KV-2 is on the map, though. It's the thing about not pushing your opponent back quickly enough to really be taking advantage of it. Rounds coming in. Oh, he's just looking for home base. Prospective rounds coming in, but there's nothing there. He might kill a couple of medics. Which in my mind violates the Geneva Conventions, but apparently the people who wrote the Geneva Conventions never played Co-2. Comes forward, does pretty much nothing. And is that other AT gun? No, the other AT gun is still crewable. Why is he not recrewing that? I'm not entirely sure. There we go. Combat engineers moving it back to take it, I imagine. So I would hope so. And there we go. Yikes. P4 slipping around deep, diving, maybe looking for that Katyusha? Maybe? I don't know for sure. But the Shrek blob is coming up, and one round could definitely destroy their day, though. Yep, there they go, cut in half. 3 shots. Bolt, my friends. Bolt for the high hills. P4 comes in. Rear armor hit on the KV-2, and these Zis guns calmly turn around and shell the poor guy to death. He is gone. Panzer Grenadier calls in a 3rd Tiger. And if there's any German commander out there on the field, I imagine he'd have a lot of explaining to do up to the higher ranks. And finally, Fortune feels comfortable enough to call in a KV-8. Maybe looking to put the last little nail in the coffin of the German infantry. That would make sense to me. Oh my gosh, he's going for a dive. Not a good idea, my friend. So the KV-8's got an absolute ridiculous amount of health. And for some reason he's using his flame projector. Oh, okay, yeah, he's just coming in just to do jerk dive on the Germans. Main gun destroyed, which means there goes the main gun and the flamethrower. One more shot, and there he goes, denoting a lot of experience over to the Tiger tank. Katyusha knows where all the troops are now, though. And here they come again. Here comes the next rocket barrage. Ugh! One round comes in and takes out 4 grenadiers. That's the kind of RNG that you don't want to pray for. His poor pioneers are running back into it as well. Yikes. Yikes, that's all I can say. I am shocked to note. Oh, okay, here's what this is. Pioneers, the Germans do know where that repair yard is, so I'm wondering if you're just trying to make sure he can focus the attention on the front door and then come in the back door and just burn everything out. You did a fair amount of damage to these combat engineers, but they're not being pulled back at all. Oh god, that thing's turning around like a headsman's axe. Another poor house gets blown to smithereens.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
This is one of those times that a static position has worked out rather well for a player. Yikes. Jeez. KV2 OP. Tiger tank. Back over here is kind of chilling, and I believe we're seeing the swan song for the Germans. Going to speed this up yet again. 98 to 88. This has definitely gone seesawed back and forth. A little bit of passive play that could have been avoided, I imagine. But the Shrek blob is sliding around trying to get some kind of positioning. I'm not entirely sure what that positioning could be, though. And a broom bar is being called in. That's a very bizarre choice. Yes, the increased frontal armor could be theoretically good against the Zis guns, but the mobility of these conscripts and the constant shelling the KV-2, you see right now it's not going to be a pretty sight. Shrek squads are going to come in behind, trying to pick up and pick on anything possible. Any kind of bundle grenade? Yep, bundle grenade comes out. These guys are going to make it out almost okay. And somehow the Germans don't get hoisted by their own petard here. Yikes. Repair yard is one of their objectives in this one, but they're not going to make it out alive, I don't think. There goes, yep, this T-34-76, and one squad's almost for sure going to go down here. Not both. How is he making it out right now? How is he making it out? That's one. Gun run coming in, but who cares at this point? Yep, this is a little bit of an FU play, I think, by PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. Well, the T-34 and the KV-2, and all is the incredible amount of AT that's over here between two AT guns and everything. I dare say this is the end of it, guys. So well, I'm going to speed this up, and while this game kind of wraps up here, oh, you poor, brave, foolish boombar. I just want to say, when you watch this, I have posted a bunch of material. I'm probably currently away when this has gone up. I'm probably currently away on my trip. I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for all the support that you've given me. I apologize I can't put this all up at the same time as usually my one per day. But that's the way the cookie crumbles at the moment. I'd be happy to see you guys when I get back, and as always, thanks so much for the support, you guys. It means a lot to me. Now, we could sit here and try to continue to watch this, but I think we know how this is going to end. I'm going to continue to speed this up and let Panzer Grenadier's death come a little bit more swiftly. Now, T-34 goes down, another Panzer gets called in for some god-awful reason. And the Soviets should be pushing over here and taking out this machine gun every day of the week and twice on Thursdays. And then Su-85 is called into the map. Wow. Mines are going down everywhere. The combat engineers are getting their money's worth. One there. One there. A trap over here. A lot of material, basically. And this squad's got double Shreks. That's terrifying. A conscript squad that has AT grenades and double Shreks. Only way it could get worse is if it was a guard squad with double Shreks, PTRSs, and the DP light machine guns. Probably the only way it could get worse for a German player from the Soviet side. Back in base. Yep, continues more rounds coming in. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys all soon. This is Con Ulrich signing off ever so soon. You all have a great day. Take it easy, everybody.